Hey everybody, this is True Disciple bringing you another StarCraft 2 commentary, and today I'm bringing you a matchup on Scrap Station. We have Neiki spawning as the Red Terran, and he's going up against JimWolf spawning as the Green Zerg. And with only these two spawn locations on Scrap Station, both players definitely know where the other one is starting, and I've only been told two things about this matchup. The first thing I was told is that it is awesome. So I'm hoping that Neiki is true to his word and that this game is as awesome as he says it is. The second thing that he told me about this matchup, and I told him to stop there, as everybody knows, I don't like to really know what's going to happen in a match beforehand. I like to be as surprised as the players that are watching it. That way, when I'm genuinely surprised, you can hear it in my voice, and you can be surprised with me when something crazy happens. Or you can laugh at me because you can be like, "Oh man, how did he not know that the guy was going for a 10 rack?" So I don't know. So either way, it's much more exciting for everybody, I think, if I don't know what's going on. But the one thing that Neiki did tell me about this matchup is that there are going to be like 5 things going on at once, and it'll be very hard for me to keep up with all the action, which is those are the kind of games I like. So now, as we're into this lull of the early game where there isn't much to talk about, both players going for what seems to be a pretty standard build. Let's bring up the production tab real quick and see what's going on there. We see that the Zerg player is on 14 and is saving up his minerals. It looks like he's trying to go for an early expansion. Oh, but look at this. Neiki catching the JimWolf's drone here, and it looks like he is going to harass him and try to keep him, but JimWolf should be able to get it down eventually. Look at him trying to get that down. Oh, wow, and Neiki throwing down a supply depot. He will not complete that supply depot, of course. He'll just run away. And this is really great strategy against Zerg players, because you can, of course, just cancel that when they're about to destroy it. But it does force them, for the most part, yes, as he did right here, to throw down that spawning pool and go for spawning pool first. So it can really hurt the early economy for the Zerg players that really like to get that early expansion. So very good play there in the early game from Neiki. So another thing I wanted to point out is some people may have noticed that I kind of disappeared off the map for 2 weeks. Well, it's because I picked up a game called Civilization 5, and it was slightly more addictive than I thought it would be. But I'm back to my true love. Don't worry, I'm back here in the StarCraft world. Sorry for being away for a couple of weeks. Another thing I wanted to shout out real quick was that I was recently on a podcast called StarCrack. I met with this guy. I met a guy at BlizzCon when I was there who does this podcast that's relatively popular, and he wanted to do an interview with me. So if anybody wants to listen to that, I'll put a link in the comments below, and you can check it out. It's an hour long, but it's pretty good stuff. So check it out, listen to that, and check out some of his other podcasts, because I mean he does some really good things. I mean, I'm pretty much of an unknown name. If you just look at my channel, I have like something like 2,500 views. So I mean, I'm not that big of a name in this community. There are a lot of people that are much bigger names than I am, and he's done some interviews with some pretty big names. So you might want to check out the channel. Check it out. I will say about some of their content, it's a little bit more adult. And not adult in that way, guys, but but you can check it out, and if you like it, then well, then check it out. He does a free podcast, and you can download it for free. So definitely check that out. Now let's get back into this game. So we see that what the heck, Neiki? I'm talking here, and Nike's got down 3 barracks by the time I say anything. We see that metabolic boost is almost done for JimWolf. We see that he's got a queen coming out. Is that his first? No, second queen coming out already. And he's got his expansion up, just about to pop right here. He has a few Zerglings here. Let's see, units on the field right now. We got 6 Lings on the field, so it looks like we're probably going to have 2 Lings out scouting around somewhere, I would assume. He's got some here, and I'm trying to figure out where his other Lings are. Man, I'm already unable to find things on the map, so... No, he's down to 4 Lings, so I don't know what happened to those other 2. They must have been killed in the battle with Marines here in the middle. So, but meanwhile, we see that we got an Overlord over here, and JimWolf is probably going to sacrifice this Overlord relatively soon to poke in and see what's going on. Unless, let's check his vision real quick and see what he's got there. He has already seen double racks, so he knows that there is double racks going down right now. Let's go to back to that production tab. There's a Baneling nest going down, so he is expecting some kind of bio push. So he is throwing that down. There's a factory finally going down for Neiki, a very delayed factory. Definitely going for this heavy marine build to start out. It looks like taking a page from Foxer's book right here. Neiki commented the other day something along the lines of, "Yep, Foxer's right. All you do need is Marines." So maybe that is what he's doing here, just trying to go out and all-out Foxer build, go for Marines, get a later factory, and maybe get some siege tanks to support. But now pushing out with these Marines, the stim is finished, and it looks like weapons infantry level 1 will probably just be finished researching as these troops get to JimWolf's base. So he's kind of timing this with his infantry weapons level 1, which is a very good play on his part. But the Baneling Nest is done. No Banelings being morphed yet. Infestation Pit is halfway done. And so, I mean, the Zerg player making all the proper responses to this. He's getting the Baneling Nest, he's got the Speedlings, and he's going for Infestors so he can throw down that Fungal Growth on them. I mean, Fungal Growth with Banelings is the hard counter to amass Marines. I mean, even Foxer in all his glory, I don't think he'd be able to deal with a well-placed because, I mean, when your Fungal Growth is on you, there's no micro left. You're literally just, it's Baneling versus Marine, toe-to-toe. And here we go, look at this, stimming out, trying to get away from the surround so that the Banelings can't get in, pulling away. Oh, these Marines getting surrounded, getting taken out by a Baneling, and the rest of these getting taken out by these Speedlings, and nothing they're able to do to get away. These Speedlings just too fast for them. And, I mean, Speedlings are just so incredibly fast. And there's just no way these Marines... Look at these reinforcing Marines trying to pull away, but they're just not able to from these Speedlings that are just so quick. And there is that map control that we expect to see from a good Zerg player, bringing out those Speedlings, keeping the map control, keeping the Terran player contained, and doing that quite effectively. So we see that we got a couple medevacs coming out for Neiki right now that should be able to do something here. And as was mentioned to me before, there are going to be like 5 things going on the map at once. So I'm going to be expecting to see a lot from these medevacs that are coming out. Meanwhile, look at this. The pathogen glands are being researched. So, and let's see, no, neural parasite not being, so we're just getting some of that extra energy, going to pop out infestors that will be able to throw down fungal growth immediately upon spawning, which I think that's a very smart move. It's just like, you know, getting the Kaidarian amulet with your High Templars. Of course, unfortunately for High Templars, you have to research Storm first. The infestors come out of the box with fungal growth. Look at this drop coming in here. Nope, going to be forced to push back by these Zerglings, kind of holding them off. Bringing the Zerglings around and bringing the Queens up to even make sure the medevacs can't even fly overhead. He's got 3 Queens now here, all clumped up, and I'm sure he's probably got another one back. Nope, he's got just 3 Queens at the moment. Let's check the units tab actually and be sure. You have 3 Queens out, 4 Banelings, 25 Zerglings, 15 Marines, 2 medevacs right now. And meanwhile, we see that the medevacs have pulled back and the Marines are all back, safely tucked away in the base. The Zerg using these cheap Zerglings, 25 links for such beautiful map control. Look at his placement of Zerglings all over the map to kind of keep an eye out. I love the placement of the Zergling right here. I mean, 25 minerals, and he's got beautiful view of what's going on here. He can see perfectly any troops that come and try to go by. And here we go. Look at the placement of these overlords and everything. Just, he's got such map control right now. And now Neiki pushing out with 2 Vikings, going to try to take some of this map control back. He's going to be able to at least deal with these overlords that are around the map, able to see everything. And there goes JimWolf, forced to pull back his overlords. He will lose this one as well, but he's going to be pulling back all of his overlords. And look at this, Neiki getting the expansion here, and JimWolf sees it with the overlord. And this is a very smart play that I don't see often enough from Terran players on this map. I mean, this expansion is just about as close by air as your natural is. And so it makes complete sense that since you can lift off to just take this, since it's so highly defended, being an island. And now Neiki is able to even support it with some Vikings to make sure that nothing can be dropped if our Zerg player decides to go for Overlord drops throughout the game. Meanwhile, it looks like JimWolf now taking the gold, not to be outdone by this double expansion. And look at this is beautiful. Getting the Planetary Fortress along with the missile turrets. Missile turrets able to defend against the air, and anything that gets dropped, the Planetary Fortress with tons of SCVs healing it will be able to deal with it quite well. The only thing that is ineffective with this, with pulling your base here rather than expanding down here, but notice how he did both at the same time, so it doesn't matter, is that you can't transfer a lot of SCVs over here. You can only take 5 into the command center with you. Now let's check out. We see, look at these drones long distance mining. A little bit of a Q misclick there, a little bit off. Oh, but maybe it was on purpose. I think it was on purpose, pulling them away as these two Marines were found here. Look at as these drones continue to come down and mine, and the Zerglings come to clean up JimWolf's units here. And I'm still looking to see if something else is going on that I'm missing. Nope, it's not. But these dropships are full and ready to go. And we got 2 more dropships right here, right now, that look like they're ready to go as well. We see more racks going down, going 5, 6, 7 racks total are being built right now. And meanwhile, we see overlords over here scouting out the map, checking out the map. We see this dropship coming around behind the back. Where is this dropship going? Look at this dropship going to back behind the base. So far, not missing anything. I'm hoping this is more. This is more of a test of my casting than it is anything else. And look at this, Neiki going for the double drop. This is very smart. Brings in this highly visible drop right here that is going to be seen. But this drop was seen as well by these overlords. So it looks like that. I think that JimWolf is seeing what's going on. Look at this, a beautiful play right here, a beautiful fungal growth here, but still able to take out quite a few. Oh, and very nice defense. Now see what's going on back here. This attack being much more effective. The Lynx coming back here to defend and deal with this, and they'll be able to clean this up no problem. Almost able to snipe down, but I think they were able to kill quite a few drones there. Although let's check in the income tab and see how the economy is looking. It looks like Neiki is way ahead in economy right now, but our JimWolf is pulling back ahead actually right now, and I think it was just because he was forced to stop mining there. And it's really the economy that's coming in from this base right here that is fully saturated. And look at this, defending with a few banelings here and one little lone Zergling. So I like that a lot. And look at this overlord coming in, checking things out, poking in real quick to see what's going on, and he comes in to see that this is almost fully saturated here. Not quite, could use maybe almost twice as many SCVs there, but about half saturated there. We got a couple queens in the back defending here, and we've got some lings over here and some infestors here defending. And look at this, JimWolf did get the research. Let's check the production tab just so. Whoa, 5 Ultralisks on the way, and we see that JimWolf does have a fully loaded overlord here. Well, not fully, but 6 lings in this overlord here, so we'll look like we might be seeing some kind of drop here. Meanwhile, there's a medevac back here, but it has no units in it, so it looks like it's just kind of here poking around to kind of see, maybe just to be a scout, or just not to die. But now we see the Ultralisks are out on the field. We see that another hatchery is going down. Whoa, look at this drop. 3 Ultralisks and tons of Zerglings. So this is going to be a beautiful Ultraling drop. But look at this, moving out with these medevacs and a tank and all of these Marines. This is going to be quite a drop here. I don't know how Nike's going to be able to respond to this. And look at this, what's going on here? Oh man, the fungal growth, absolutely beautiful fungal growth there, and the drop with the Ultralisks and the Lings in the main of Neiki. This is a devastating blow played by JimWolf, and played very well. Able to deal with his main force with that fungal growth, and they had to use up all the energy, pretty much a lot of the energy on a lot of these medevacs. I think a lot of those were lost. And look at these Ultralisks and Lings just able to do so much damage right now. I mean, 3 Ultralisks in the base with all these Lings, but here come the Marines coming up to deal with this, and we look at the damage with the stim, able to deal with those Ultralisks no problem. And it's just amazing how much damage Marines can do. They just have such high DPS, considering that they are the lowest tier unit in the game for Terran. But yeah, they do so much damage. But then here we go, we see the weakness of those Marines as they fall to those Banelings, but still able to take out all 3 of those Ultralisks. No problem. And considering that you would think off the top of your head that Ultralisks, like if anybody watched my game that I cast with Deloader versus Yaz, you would think that Ultralisks would be a good counter to Marines, as they do splash damage and the Marines are so clumped up. But they really aren't. I mean, if you get an equal number of cost of Ultralisks to Marines, whoa, look at this. 1 drop going one way, 1 drop going the other. We got, wow, 3 more Ultralisks, tons of Zerglings. What is this? Some Banelings popped in here, and they're just dropping in. And meanwhile, look at the drop going in the